had several people reach out and ask me how I sharpen my knives. Honestly, it's a bit of a compound answer. Obviously, different types of knives have different types of edges, different grinds. Obviously, you're not going to sharpen a sword the same way you would sharpen a chef knife or a skinning knife, at least not to the same level. I figured today I would show you kind of my unorthodox method of sharpening. There are 1,000 different sharpeners on the market. Sharp makes a great sharpener. Stones, there's grinding wheels. Today I'm going to show you how I do something like an EDC, like this one. This is just sort of a rustic kind of, outdoor EDC knife. It's 1095 steel. I've done a flat grind down to about 1/3 the width of a dime or so. I don't really know. Doing this so long, I just kind of eyeball it, like most of everything I do. For this style of knife, it's going to have its primary bevel, but then also a secondary bevel, very small one. To do that, here are my 2x72. This is why I say this is the most important piece of equipment a bladesmith can have. A good quality 2x72. We're going to take this knife and we're going to put a 1000 grit belt on this and run it in reverse. And basically all we're going to do is use the slack, the top part of the belt, which is actually not really slack, and we're going to establish our secondary bevel by just running it along in reverse. Now this will take a little bit of practice. You really need to focus on keeping your knife at the exact same angle on both sides of your knife, and then the movement itself can be a little tricky, but you want to follow the edge on the center of the belt with the curve of the blade pushing it out. As you're sharpening, you'll start to notice a little bit of a wire burr on the edge begin to form. That's what we want. We want that burr to go the entire length of the edge. Now that we've got that, we're going to take off the burr using the corner of my table. And I just slide it over the edge to get it off. Now this is already fairly sharp, but I like them ridiculously sharp. If you can't shave your face with it, it's not a knife. We move on to the next step, a buffing wheel. I take these stitched thick wheels, whatever they're called, and load it up with white polishing compound. Just the same as we did on the grinder, we're going to do this in reverse. Just barely touching the wheel, and we're going to do it exactly the same as we did on the belt. Now doing it in this fashion will polish some of your bevel. Or if you're going for an etched finish or something that's not polished, definitely do this before you do your etching. As you're doing this, you will start to notice the same thing, a very, very tiny wire edge begin to form, and that's what we want. Take that burr off. I use just a scrap piece of leather. Just the same as before, just run the edge along it. You're done. That is all there is to it. Let's test it. We'll start with the good old-fashioned paper cut. I see so many people do these paper cuts and they actually drag the blade. That's cheating. Push cut or nothing, baby. Straight down. Here's a real sharpness test for you. This is 9-ounce veg tan leather. Not really easy to cut, unless you're sharp. I mean, come on. Yeah, that's all there is to it. 1000 grit belt on reverse, buffing wheel, buffing compound. You got an edge like a lightsaber. Yeah, and if you're interested in buying this knife, it'll be up on the Etsy page, I think maybe tonight or tomorrow, once we get done making the weatherproof, waterproof leather sheath. But yeah, 2x72s. It's your best friend. If you want a good discount on one, go to the link in my bio and check out a Mara Braid. Hook.